Hello. So today I'm going to talk about my wonderful house project. Number, I'm not sure which one this is. This might be the most scary and epic one I have ever decided to take on for any purposes, anything in my life. And I've done some pretty crazy things. But my house has a bit of a settling issue, and part of that's caused by the fact the house is pretty low compared to the neighborhood. So roughly once a year, the ditches will overflow way too much, and water will actually get close to the house, and therefore water will actually get under the house, therefore causing foundation issues. So I had a foundation guy come out and give me a quote, a fairly reputable company that I've used in the past to actually level the house. And they said about $30,000 to do this project. And that's right, $30,000, and that's not going to cover all the parts that I will need to get done, which I will discuss. So this is basically an intro to what I'm going to do. I will send out create other videos as I go through the different parts of the project. But today I'll talk about overall overview of everything. So the house is on piers on this half. Well, actually, this three quarters of the house. So 30 feet is on pier. The last part after the window there is on slab. It's slab from the back all the way to the front of the house. At some point in time, this house has gone through at least 3, maybe 4 major renovations before I even bought the house, and then I've done a major renovation on top of that. Mine was more internal. There seemed to be more add-on parts to the house. So, part one of this project is I need to dig a trench underneath the house to make space to go underneath and start the lifting of the house. Because this house has settling issues, I'm actually going to pour foundations underneath these some critical points here, so that no matter what, this house will never ever move again, which is my goal. So that's the first part here. So you have roughly 10 piers per row, and they are every 4 feet. So there's one there, one right about there that's hiding, and one by the door there, and of course more on the other side by the window. So that's going to be step one, is to dig the trenches under the house so that the house can be lifted. I have bought 5 jacks so far. These are 20-ton jacks. So these are 20-ton jacks. I've bought 5 of them so far. I'm going to buy another 5 now, so I'll have enough to do a complete row at a time. I could probably get away with this the 5 I have. I got a really good deal on them for new jacks, so we shall see. At one point in time, I thought about buying jacks for all the points and jacking it up, but that'd be 80 jacks, which is a lot of money for a one-time project. So I figure that 5 to 10 jacks will be enough jacks for me to have to get rid of afterwards. One of the things I'll have to be lifted on the house is this AC unit. Either lift it or additional wiring will have to be done. I'm thinking that this might be an easy one to deal with. I'll just have to dig underneath it and lift it up 1.5 feet roughly. But we shall see. Option B will be to get the electrician to come out here and add in additional wiring, I think. But we shall see. So here's the part that's going to be a little more tricky. So we have the house on slab. You can't just get jacks to go underneath the house because there's no space for it. One option would be to dig holes all on here, and therefore in the holes put the jacks underneath the house. But because it's all slab, I don't think that's a wise idea. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to knock off a couple of these hardy boards. Well, these are knockoff hardy boards, but knock off the hardy boards, probably about 3 up. And we'll then add on wood on the side of the house, so like a 2x8 or maybe a 2x10 along the run of the house. I might actually have to use 2 to get me the spacing away from the house, and then I will put jacks underneath that, and I will lift the house using those. Now I know, because this house I know was on originally built on pier and then extended. This part over here is a non-weight bearing wall internally, because they would have just built a pointing wall underneath it. So this part here is fine. This part here will have some weight on it, as well as this entire side here. Now, what the next part of the question is, most people, and I'm assuming they did too, will anchor the wall to the ground. So using the leg bolt or nails or something into the concrete. So I will have to take some weight off the walls, and we'll then have to take a saw and cut underneath the base plate of the wall and look for any nails or things like that that could be holding it down to the ground. So step one will be to remove the hardy board, then put up a sideboard, and then lift up the house a little bit. Well, more or less take some tension off the walls, everybody on the jacks. And then I'll go and make sure there's no anchor bolts holding it down on the side. So once that's all done, then this side here is ready to lift. Yay! And since I'm talking about this part here, I'll continue talking about this part before moving on to things in a more logical fashion. So once this house is lifted up, there's going to be a 18-inch gap around the side of the house. And part of the quote that I got did not include dealing with that gap. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pour a concrete pointy wall underneath this house. So I'll probably lift the house up 19 inches, build the pointy wall, pour it, and put the house back down on top of it. So that way it's fine. The first part of the house here is actually internally on it's not on slab, it's actually raised a little bit, so it is level with the rest of the house. So I have no concerns in that part. But this over here is actually a separate unit that's on concrete. So once I lift the house, I will have to also build a new floor inside, 18 inches up, to meet with that. So that's going to be another future project. That was not part of the quote of $30,000. So moving forward, once the house has been lifted up, part of the $30,000 quote was $6,000 to take dirt and put the dirt underneath the house so that there's no way for it to be lower than the rest of the ground. And that is about 2 truckloads of dirt, I'm thinking, maybe even 1 full truckload of dirt, and at a cost of about $300 per truck. So easy work. Well, not. It's mostly labor, right? You're gonna take it to wheelbarrow, and you're gonna spend a lot of time throwing gravel under the house. So not a big deal. Just lots of time to do it. The other part of the problem that has to be done is over here. Is that I'm not sure how. Once I've done all the preparation, going into the house, digging it out, entrenching it, and getting blocks and putting blocks next to each of the piers, will be to deal with this here. So I'll have to get a gas guy to come in and cut the gas. The water I can do myself over here. So that's an easy one to do. And right here is a sewer. So that'll be one I'll do myself as well. That's easy to do. It's a hacksaw and I can cut it. Later I'll put in a 90 drop tube in it. When I get to that point, I will be showing that to you as well. But yeah, so water is here. Gas is here. Not gas, sorry. Sewer is here and gas is right there. So one step by step. So plan. So the plan will be once I get the house prepared, I will go in and put the jacks next to each of the piers. I have I have bought these bricks here. These are just not all I'm gonna need. This is just a starting point. They're actually pretty cheap. They're like $2 each. $2 for this, like a 2-inch, and these ones are also about $2. Like literally almost the same price. It's crazy. So 80. The math for 80 is probably gonna be about $10 per. Yeah, about $10 per pier to do. So that's gonna be about $800 in materials for that. As you can tell, so far it's nowhere near $30,000. And then what I'm going to use those for is I'm going to take these 2x12s and slide them under the house and use them as bracing points. And I'm going to jack up this corner. I'm going to use 2 jacks because I'm going a little paranoid. I'm going to jack it up. I'm going to take out the concrete there, pour a pad, wait a few days, and then put these back in place and re-level them. I'll probably use those there to hold, because the jacks will not last a few days. They're hydraulic, Once I get the house jacked up a little bit, and sort of before I remove these, I will take the concrete slab to have over there, and I'll use them in place of the jacks so that the house is stable. So that is the plan. I have a cheap leveler coming. Basically, it's a 360 room laser level, which I'll use to start this project. Make sure that this room is level once I'm done, or as level as it can be, because this house is never ever going to be 100% level. That is because when they built the original house, they never leveled it before they added on this first edition, and then when they got to building the second edition, they never leveled it again, and so on and so on. So it can only be leveled so much, but I like to have it as level as can be during this project. So that is more or less an overview of the project. I'm hoping most of this work can be done over next month to prepare, and I'm hoping that in theory over a weekend I can jack this house up with a couple of friends to do it, because it's not that much work. It's more or less tedious, but not a horrible job to do. It just means that I'll have no sewer or water or gas for a few days, but I'll have power. So that's it for this project intro, and I will see you on the next one.